welcome back to the Truth and Tales podcast with your favorite host, Victoria and
Yemi.
Yay! Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, guys, or Happy New Year in advance.
Happy New Year
I can't believe that.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, I cannot believe that it's a year already, guys. This has been an amazing year. There's been so much change in our life, Yemi, since this year.
God,
You relocated to China, I relocated to the US, and so much has happened in this year, and God has been faithful, and God is good. We are very, very happy that you guys are witnessing, and I pray that we all will witness the end of the year. So this is going to be our last video for this year, and we are really and super excited for the kind of, and I think this is actually a very good video to use to end the entire year. Yes. So today we have an interesting truth because one of you actually sent us a message, and we'll be trying to address that, and we know that maybe a number of you might be in the same situation, so this might be a very good video for you or someone that you know. But before we get into that, remember that we are available on all of your podcast platforms. In case you are a listening person, you're not a watching person, please check us out on all of your podcast platforms. Also, we are available on, we also have our personal channels linked below. You can see the link to everything below. Okay, so if you also want to send your truth or your tale to us, you can also reach us on our Instagram page at Truthandtalespodcast on Instagram. Everything is linked below. Okay, anyway, so before we talk too much, Yemi, what is the truth for today?
Okay, like you said already, hope you guys are well. Hope you enjoyed your Christmas. Hopefully, by the special grace of God, you guys will see this video before the year. This is going to be the video that closes for the year. So like Victoria said earlier, this is a good way. I so much like this conversation that we're going to have. I like it already. It's a good way to wrap up the year. It's a good one because in fact many people will be making decisions next year, and I think this is one of the biggest decisions some people will make, especially because we also have younger people watching us as much as we have older people as well. So yes, this is a good one. So anyways, without talking too much again, let me just go ahead and read the truth. And as Victoria already mentioned, this is from one of you guys. As always, we appreciate your questions and everything you send to us. So it goes to say, hi, I just watched your latest video, a video like that. Please, I need advice from you and your audience. Kindly keep me anonymous, okay? I am a 28-year-old female lawyer and still lives at home with her parents in one of the choicest parts of Lagos. The main issue with living with my parents is the lack of freedom. That is, like for example, 8 p.m. curfew. It has really damaged
8 p.m.?
Yes, 8 p.m. It has really damaged my life and mental health. I honestly don't see myself as someone who is 28 because of how I'm treated at home. I have tried talking to them about this, but they don't ever listen. Seems like they feel they are always right. Anytime I break the curfew, they will almost set the roof on fire with yells and shouts as if I'm a child. On a few occasions, it leads to violence. I mean, how do you attempt hitting me because I returned at 10:30 instead of 8 p.m.? It's a strange situation. I cannot even enjoy dirty December. Hey, dirty what? Dirty December.
You and this dirty December that you've been shouting on this way.
I cannot even enjoy dirty December in peace. What is the fact that I am more of an extrovert than I am an introvert? It's been so hard. I actually want to move out as I have a very good paying job, but worried how they are going to take it. But I know it's the best thing for me to do. I need to go back to having a social life, building good relationships and networking and dating. Dating in capital letters. She puts dating in blocks. Okay? Honestly, dating has been so difficult since I started living with my parents. Plus, I'm constantly reminded that I'm supposed to have gotten married by this age, blah, 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 blah. Please advise. Please advise.
It's
Victoria,
okay.
Please advise.
It's okay. I mean, Victoria, no. I can honestly understand her pain. I think we're actually talking about this last week when we're talking about that guy who was saying that, you know, a lady should move from her father's house to her husband's house. Now, these are some of the reasons why, you know, these are some of the issues that ladies face when they move from their father's house to husband's house, or when they live too long in their parents' house.
Yes.
And I cannot even imagine the amount of, you know, frustration that this lady, you know, is currently going through, because I cannot imagine being in my parents' house at 28 and, you know, I still have a curfew. Hey, it's big, it's plenty.
And she's
it cannot happen. That's the
she's
thing.
also
Like,
an extrovert.
Exactly, as an extrovert it's even difficult, and even as an introvert, there's a point you will get to. I think even as humans, you know, some people don't have issues with that, but I just think that it's difficult enough being in your parents' house at that age, and then to add to the fact that they're now treating you like a child. Now, I would blame the parent, because I think that as parents, when your children get to a certain age, you need to accord them the freedom that they deserve. But again, as parents also, a mother will always be a mother first. That's the thing. So sometimes, you know, she might be scared that what's happening to you, you know, all of that. Things that, you know, probably she might not be as concerned if you were not living in her house. And then there are some parents also that is like, as long as you're under my roof, you are under my rules, right? There will always be issues, right? Even before I even left home, before I even became an adult, I was still a young adult. Me and my parents were already having clashes, because our generation is different. In as much as I wasn't, you know, a bad child, so to speak, there were still some things that I would do that my parents will not understand why I am making such a decision, but I understand, and I want them to trust me. But they cannot trust me, not because they don't want to trust me, but because the way they were built up, the way they were raised, it's not the same way the world is now. You understand? So I can imagine, you know, being in that, even as a young adult, you know, having that kind of issue. And then I moved out, and it actually helped our relationship. When I moved out, you know, we became closer, because we were more intentional about talking to each other instead of talking at each other. You know, when we had our space, you know, there's some kind of respect that comes when you give people their space, right? So I understand her, Kini, but number one, I cannot relate, because me, I told you guys last week, the moment I left for university, I knew that I needed my freedom. But I also know that it's not every family that allows that. Like I said, there are some tribes and cultures in Nigeria that, especially in the northern part, that you go to school, you come back to your father's house. But I really just think that people should be given the opportunity to be an adult, because you need to be able to understand yourself. You need to be able to understand your limits and test your limitations. Be an adult, and you cannot be that whilst you are living under your parents. So I understand if, you know, you don't have a job, or, you know, you don't have enough income and stuff like that, you cannot afford to be on your own, which when I moved back to Nigeria from Ghana, I could not necessarily afford to live on the island, and instead I moved in with my friend, and we shared the rent, right? You can always look for a way, right? But your own is even different. You have a good job, you're earning well, you can afford to live on your own. So what's the problem? Like, what's the problem really? How they will feel? They will be all right, okay? They will be fine, because you need to understand that you need to live your life. This is your life. It's not a combined life. It's not a community life. It's not you and your parents' life. You need to live your life. You need to learn to be alone, right? So trust me, your parents will not hate you because you moved out. They can be upset at a point. They might, you know, be saying, "Oh, you want to be wayward. You don't want to. Where our eyes can see you. You want to be yes, ma, my sister, move out." They will be okay. They will love you. They are your parents. They are not going to disown you because you moved out. Right? So I don't know, Yemi, what do you think?
I think the interesting thing is that I can actually relate to this, because I remember, but for me it's quite different. It was not even directly from my parents, okay? So when I moved, when we moved around quite a bit. I grew up in Lagos, and we moved to Ilorin, that's in Kwara State, but I never really stayed so long in Kwara State because I didn't really school there. I never schooled there. I was always schooling outside, so it was only during the holidays that I always come home. So I went to University of Abuja now, and I moved immediately to Abuja, but then it was my uncle's house. My dad's, I don't even know, I relate kind of, I don't know if they are friends or, but it's my uncle. Anyways, it's my uncle. So I moved to his house, and then my cousin and I, we were in the same school. My bestie, before she comes for me again, we were in the same school, so we'll go to school together, and then we'll come back home together, and then we'll just do things together and all of that. So when I also now served again in Abuja, so it was like from uni to service year, I was with them. Now, when I now finished uni, when I finished service year, that I wanted to now stay on my own, I also I decided I was going to settle, like stay in Abuja. I didn't want to go somewhere else. I actually did move to Lagos for a while. Lagos was too much for me. I then moved back to Abuja. But when I moved back to Abuja, in fact, it was because I did not want to stay in Abuja, because I knew if I stayed back in Abuja, my father would want me to stay with them, and I didn't want that. That was why I initially moved to Lagos. But then Lagos wasn't for me. And then I just moved back to Abuja. But then I knew that I didn't want to move back to their house. And I was like really concerned that, okay, what would my dad think? What would they think? I was more concerned about them than my dad, because my dad is really very liberal. He wasn't really bothered about, like, just give him a good reason why you're doing what you're doing, and let him know where you are. Let him be able to see you, let him be able to contact you and all of that. He's not really bothered. But they are this kind of family that they want to know everything. Like, it's just very cautious. Like, I remember when I wanted to even work, like after school, holiday jobs, he was like, no, do you think I can provide for you? Like, my uncle is that kind of father. Do you understand? So in his own mind now. So so I was more concerned about him and what they would say and all of that, because it's really like that kind of person, like that kind of father, just want to guide you, just to be, I don't want to use the word controlling yet, but eventually it is controlling, that they're just trying to be in your life. On their own end, it's like they're trying to make sure that you turn out well. They're trying to guide you. They're trying to caution your life. They're trying to make sure that you don't make mistakes. They're trying to like make sure that you are just this perfect child. But at the end of the day, it boils down to controlling, because you have to, like what you just said, that you have to learn to be alone. You have to, as parents, we also have to allow our children to make mistakes that they can learn from. We don't have to guide them or caution them based on the things that have happened to us, or based on our own experience, or based on our own timeline. Because what they were like is that it's very strange in those days for your child to move out of your house and go to their own house, except they are walking like very far. And most times, even when they walk very far, parents are still trying to contact their friend that they know in that place to like help your child out and all of those things, just because they feel that need to guide their child. They feel they need to. But then these days, it's no longer about guidance, it's more like controlling, because the times are different. The season that their parents lived, the experiences they have is quite different. So whatever you want to do, if you want to guide us based on that experience, it's more like you're trying to control. It's more like you're trying to micromanage us, and we don't like that. There's no young adults who like that. Talk more of somebody who is already 28. And again, you're not asking the person for marriage. Exactly what happened with us as well. That's my cousin and I. So they wouldn't want us to move out, but then at some point,
but they expect you to just
bring your husband home. Meanwhile, when we were trying to date, we were trying to hang out, we were trying to relate, you were always like, where are you coming from? What are you doing?
So why would the husband
Why are you doing that? Why are you coming like, you were trying to micromanage, but there's no, I feel like they should, parents should just allow that trust your children to make their own mistakes, trust your children to live their lives, So anyways, that was just it for me. But when I went back from Lagos to Abuja, I knew that I did not want to stay in the house. And I knew that my uncle was going to have a problem with it. My parents are going to be fine with it. So like, I just told, in fact, I didn't even tell my dad directly that I'm not going to be staying there. I just told my stepmom that, you know what, I'm not staying there when I go. I'm going to be with my friend. And she kind of communicated with my dad. And I knew my dad would never ask me, so long he knows where I am and people can reach me. But for my uncle, it was different. So when I moved to Abuja, I just did not go to their house. I didn't take my bags there. I just went directly to my friend's house. And that friend, they know her as well. I just went directly to my friend's house. I wasn't even paying rent. I didn't even have a job yet at the time. I didn't have a job yet. I didn't have anything. I just moved back like that. And I moved to my friend's place. And I was like trying to figure out things. And then I knew that they knew that I was now in Abuja, but I'm not in the house. One day, sometimes I would go, and my cousin was still in the house at that time. She had not moved out yet on her own. She had not moved out. So every time I would go there and just to play hang out with my cousin, stay till late night before I now go. And he would just be looking at me like, He would just be angry, just be looking at me. One day, he eventually called me and sat me down and like, what do I think I'm doing? It's like, what do you think you're doing? Why do you think you can live out on your own? Why do you think you're doing what you're doing? Like, it's not even telling me, it's commanding me to bring my things back to the house and come back. And I was like, okay. And I told him, okay. And I was like, I'm here, sir. Thank you, sir. Okay, I'm sorry, sir. And I went back and I didn't bring my things back. I didn't do anything. He was just like, every time I would come and visit, he would just be carrying face. On a few occasions, he would ask me, hey, when are you coming back? I'd be like, soon. But I never came back, and he got used to it. One day, he was even saying one of those things that, when are you coming back? It was my cousin's mom. She was not like, leave her now, let her live her life now. Leave her now, must she come back? Like, leave her alone now. Like, what is it? It was then he now got the memo that, wait, so this girl is an adult, let me leave her alone. And we were fine. From then on, we were fine. So I would say that, just like Victoria said, like, your parents will be fine. You just have to make that decision. There are some decisions we'll make in life that you just have to take that courage, that bold step. Not everybody around you will agree with you. Not everybody around will support you. But if you know that you are doing that with the right reasons, like you said, it's affecting your mental health, it's affecting your relationship, it's affecting your everything. I would advise, pack your things. Start making plans to get a house. Get a good place, a secured place, a nice place, Get somewhere that you know that they would like, or just for starters, get somewhere that you know they would like, or be where that you think that they would want you to be, or just something like that, just to initially take the fear away that you are good to go. Make that decision. Because the thing about our parents is that they want us to grow, but most times they cannot experience our growth. It's difficult for them. They want you to grow.
True.
But seeing you, there's no way, like, you won't, like, it's just like we want. I remember, like, when my sons were growing up, I want them to walk, I want them to crawl, but I don't want them to pull down things. I don't want them to scatter the house. How are they now going to do all those things, until I learn to, I just have to trust these children and make the house safe. So you make your parents feel safe to know that, yes, you're making this decision not because you want to be wayward, not because you are a wayward child, not because you want to be sleeping around, because most times that's their fear. When they see a lady coming back by 10, they're assuming that from the time she closed from work that she's probably sleeping with somebody. And because I don't understand, or she's clubbing, or she's doing something, or she's just mismanaging her life. But most times it's not so. So they just need to know that you have to make that decision for yourself. So make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons, and communicate it. And you must have gotten that house, you must have packed your things, you are ready to move. Call them the weekend before. Sit them down. Daddy and mommy, I made a major decision. Because I also feel like sometimes it's how we tell them to. If you're coming to them at a point that you're angry, what they're doing, you're angry. Mommy, maybe people just had a fight. I'm leaving. It's not making, it won't make sense. But you've made the decision, everything is fine. You sit them down. Daddy and mommy, I'm leaving the house. I'm 28. If you really want me to come home with a man, if you really want me to marry, for you to even know that the things, the investment you have poured on me, all the advice you have given me, all the guidance you have shown me, for you to even know that it worked on me, let me live on my own. Let me try to do that. Give them reasons why you need to make that decision and be ready to move. Not that you tell them finish, you now start looking for a house. They'll now be praying that you don't get the house on time. Get your house, be ready to pack. Then when you're moving day, allow them to, maybe if they want to help, take you to their home. Carry them, let them see the place you're living, let them see what you're doing, and just move. I remember that even this lady, Dima Ume, she mentioned in one of her videos like that a very long time ago that when she wanted to move from Enugu to Lagos, her father was like, no. So what she did first was like to study abroad. She moved abroad first, and then when she came back from abroad to come and settle in Lagos, it was still like, no. She had to call people to tell him, she had to do a lot of things that it was until the point where our supervisor, if I remember correctly, the person that supervised her in the UK, the lecturer or something, had to contact her dad to talk to him that I think it was even on the course of choice to study masters again. No, the father had a problem with that. The person had to call, like they just wanted to control and do. The man, her father, to be precise, he just wanted to be like, okay, I'm paying for you, I'm doing everything, then you should listen to me. He just wanted to be that. And she was like, no, I'm not having it. And I remember she said that when she wanted to move to Lagos, she made sure she had saved enough money that she wouldn't have to ask him that, pay my rent. The father did not send any money to her. It was like, okay, if you think you can live off me, then go and do it by yourself. She made sure she had the money, she got the apartment, she got everything. Her mom was obviously involved, her siblings were obviously involved, but it was just the dad. And she moved in, she did everything. And there was never a time that she had to call him and be like, okay, send me money. and he saw that she was doing well. She's on YouTube now. The father is probably watching, but he's just stubborn.
I know her.
Like, he's just stubborn and feeling like you're still my child. But when he saw the progress, when he saw everything, he had to see. He realized that it's for her own good. He saw that she was doing well. She was, doing well, and he was like, okay, I think it actually worked. But it's just that they just want it to be very protective, overly protective, that it becomes so controlling. So the best thing for you to do is to actually move out. Don't even think about like what they are going to do, how it's going to affect them. So long you're not helping them significantly to do anything in the house, maybe they are ill and they need you to be helping them with medication. And even if it is that, on those times that they need your help, that they really need your help, you can show up and go back to your own place. Just just make sure that you make it clear to them that you are grown and you need to make your own decisions. Until then, your parents will constantly be in your life. Even people that are married, they are doing things a certain way. You just give your mom gist and she'll be like, do it like this, do it like this. Even though you want to do it your own way, they will still want to chip in and do it until you tell them that I'm just giving you this gist for gist sake, not like I need you. Something like that. So I feel like you just need to make that decision, be ready, pack your bags, get to that place you want to get, make that decision for the right reason. Okay, for the right reason, not because all your friends are moving out, you want to move out. And I think you have this person already has good enough reasons, but just for other people that are watching, make sure you're doing it for the right reason, not because every other person is out of the house. If you don't have enough money to do that, don't just go and carry yourself away. Victoria just said, when she moved, she couldn't afford it, but she went to stay with somebody else because it made more sense for her to even be in that place based on work and everything. And she was sharing the accommodation, not because I want to show my mother Pepe, I'm not going to stay in the house. Do you understand? So make sure you're doing it for the right reasons, because if you do it for the wrong reasons, now you don't go carry your bag back. In fact, shame will never allow you to want to go back. And there's no point having that disconnect with your parents, because they're always going to be for you, even when things don't turn out right. So there's no need to have that enmity between you and your parents. There's no need for that to cause quarrel. No, it's just you stepping out as an adult and letting them know. Do your own best by informing them ahead of time, saying it in the right way, preparing yourself, and they'll just get the memo. Over time, they'll be proud of you, because if you do it for the right reasons, God on your side, you make them proud, and they'll see that you're doing it for the right reasons. So that was exactly how I built myself. For short, that was exactly how I built myself, and eventually they saw that. I think about a few months later, I brought husband to him. I brought my husband to the uncle. I said, see, I'm getting married. And he was really excited about it and all of that. But even at the time, my boyfriend then, my soon-to-be husband, was living in Abuja. He had his own house, but I didn't move into his own house. So they could see that it's not because I want to go and be doing frolicking around. They could tell that I just wanted to make my own decision, and they saw how it eventually paid off, and they were okay, they were fine with it. So I just think that's how it happened for me. So Victoria, anything you want to say?
I think you've said everything, to be honest, because even as we're talking, it was registering in my head. And I think it's even good that we had this conversation, because obviously we've had opposing experiences when it comes to this particular issue, right? So everything Yemi said, just take it as gospel. I love that you mentioned the part that you need to do it for the right reason, because you're talking about dirty December. Dirty December is not a reason for you to say that we want to move out. Make sure that but you have other valid reason, which is good, and don't make them regret that decision, because trust me, parents, and that's the thing I always tell people, you need to already have built a reputation with your parents that they know they can trust your decision. And that's why I always tell people that your parents need to have been able to trust your decision making process as before you have to make a major decision. And I think that was why it was so easy for my parents to say, okay, if you cannot stay with us, if this is good for your job, if it will give you more proximity to where you're working, it doesn't make sense that you stay there. Because prior to then, they've always trusted me. I've never given them a reason to doubt the values that they've put in me, because sometimes that's one of the parents' secret fears. My mom, before she sent me to Ghana, right, to go and school, one of her biggest fear was the fact that she didn't trust me when I was a teenager, because I was not a wayward child, but I also was not the easiest child. I used to give her a lot of trouble. In short, people around came to her. My sister was already in Ghana, just so you know, and they told her that they understand why she sent my sister to Ghana, but they don't think she should send me to Ghana because, hey, they are very, very sure. So people place a bet that I will come back pregnant. That is to tell you how much of trust people did not have in me. But she decided to, you know, do that leap of faith, not because of she was blind. She also trusted me to a certain extent. She knew like that I had certain values, even though she didn't 100% trust me. But then I went to school, I did everything I was supposed to do, came out with good grades, did everything. I was living alone for a long time, and you know, she never had any reason to, you know, to be running elter-skelter. She never had any reason to worry about me. So when I came back to Nigeria and I wanted to leave, she didn't have any reason to say no, because she already trusted my decision-making process. However, I know that there are also other helicopter parents that no matter how much you prove yourself, they still believe that they need to be around you. I had a friend that, you know, all her siblings, they went to school in that state. If they don't give you admission in that state, you will try again until you get admission in the state that the parents were. They're also Igbos. I think it's also from Enugu, right? So you see stuff like that, right? There are parents like that, and I mean, I want to talk to parents. If you're a parent like that, you need to understand that give your children the opportunity to be themselves. You cannot be there for them to 100%. There's a part where you stop becoming the, you know, the say, or you know, the primary person that has a say on their life. And it does not start when they leave your house to their husband's house. No, it starts from, sorry, there's aeroplane passing, sorry for the noise. You need to learn to give them the freedom that they need before they end up in a man's house. Give them their independence, let them be, right? My mom, when she was leaving me to school, when I was going to university, she told me, I have done what I can do, I have done the best I can, I have put the values that I believe can help you in life. And she told me, that is, every other thing is left to you. You can choose to take what I have taught you, what I have trained you, and become the woman that I trained you to be, or you can choose to be whatever. But I know, and God knows, that I've done everything that I can as a mother to make you a better person. But from this point onward, your decisions that you make, they are left to you. I'm telling you, this was a night before I traveled. She sat me down in her room and she told me, you know, and I can never forget that, because even me myself, I don't want to disappoint my mom, because I know how much she has done, how much sacrifice she made to make me the person that I am today, right? So all of those, you as a parent, you need to have trust in your kids. But even you as the person watching me, maybe you're on your way to university, or you're about to move, or you're already there, but your parents cannot trust you. They will call you around 10 in the night, and they cannot monitor where you are. You are saying you are A and they find you in Z. You know, when you give those kind of patterns, you are not building that thing, that trust in them, right? So then when you come back, or why would they let you leave when, you know, even when you were in school, you were not giving them peace of mind? You understand that? But I know that, you know, everybody has their wayward stage where they just want to do whatever they want and stuff like that, right? I don't believe that you need to go to become wayward for you to now come back, because a lot of people become wayward and they never find their way back. You understand that? So all I'm saying is that make sure that as parents, please allow your kids, give them the independence. If they've never given, even if they have given you a reason to worry before, trust that they've learned from their mistake and give them. See, you cannot be everything for your child. You need to let them be. Let them go and experience world. Let them be independent, and then all you have to do, there's a part where you stop becoming the parent, the decision maker rather of a child, of your child. You start become a guidance or a guardian, right? You start to guide them, you give them advice, you let them know that, listen, this is what you should do. But when she said at 28 she broke a coffee and her mother slapped her, like, that's wrong. In short, there's an age your child gets to, you don't even raise your hands on them. I don't care which culture. I know that we say we are Africans and, you know, Kojaiba, we understand that, but trust me, it's not like your child broke a coffee, and then you think the next thing you should do is to beat. I even think that parents, they are helicopter parents. Even they themselves, they have issues. You don't hit a child after a certain age, because no matter, hitting them will not bring them closer to you. Instead, it will make them become enemies with you, right? So there are some practices you should stop. When your child gets to 18, stop beating them. In short, before 18, gone, you should start having conversations with them. My mom, she used to beat us a lot when we're young. Especially me. Hey, she beat me plenty, but it got to a stage where she realized that the beating is not changing me. In short, when she beats me, I become worse. That is, she said that she beat me for yesterday is what I want to do. I was still a teenager then, and then she changed strategies. She won't beat me, she'll just call me and tell me. And sometimes I wish she beats me than she talks to me. So learn to talk. Ask for guidance from the Holy Spirit. If you don't think your child is on the right path, but if you think that you're going to be there, I know somebody who under a strict parent watch, she got pregnant for 3 months, aborted the pregnancy and died, and the parent never even knew she was pregnant. So trust me, if your child wants to become wayward, if you put tracking app on their phone, whatever they want to do, they're going to do, right? But you need to also let them know that you trust them. And one thing I know about adults, if you let them know, if you put trust in them, like my mom did for me then, it was so hard for me to now want to break that trust. You understand? So you as the mother, please, or the parents, allow your kids, and also you as the adults now, please also give the upcoming adults, don't give your parents reason to not to trust your decision, right? So yes, and everything Yemi said, right? Do it for the right reason. The way you talk to him, I really, really love everything you said. The way you approach the conversation. Don't go and be if you know you cannot afford to, don't do it. Wait until you can afford, get a good job, do everything, then you move out. Make sure that you get the place already. They will not ask you to go and say after you've already collected the rent. You tell them, listen, and if they are being stubborn, call people that can talk to them. There's someone who can talk to them. Or you reach an agreement with them. Okay, I will stay there for 5 days a week. Weekends I will come home. You have to reach an agreement, and little by little, you will be independent. You understand that, right? So yeah, everything we've said, everything Yemi said, honestly, take it and just add what I said as Jara. Okay. Anyways, yeah, so Yemi, I don't know, do you have any other thing to add?
Yeah, you have that's it for me. Like you've already said it. It's the thing that we've not done before the time we need it. Like it's work that we have not done before time of work. That's when work becomes work. That's the thing. It's because that relationship with the parents is not there. That trust is not there.
Now become issues
when you now need to move out. You people they don't now trust you because you've been giving them reasons not to trust me. I mean, there's really nothing to add. That's basically it. And I think that's just the best thing to do. That's just the best thing, because sometimes your parents may never come to terms with what you're saying. They may never, and they will always form that they are right. They will always tell you they are right. They will always act like they are right because they feel like they are older. Even if things have changed, but they still have more experience, they will tell you that you can be
you can be the president. You cannot have more Akisa.
What's the translation?
You can't have more rags like them.
So they will always act like they are right, and they may never listen to you. You may never get to that point that they will completely accept what you're saying. And if you're waiting for that
before
point
you move out
to come, before you now take the steps you need to take in your own life, you may never see it. So basically, just do whatever you're doing for the right reasons, and just hope for the best, pray for the best. That's really what I would say. But that's it.
Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Let us know what your ideas are. When did you move out of your parents' house? Are you still in your parents' house? Are you on your way to moving out? What do you think about what we've discussed today? So yes, until we meet again, we are still your favorite. Wait a minute, let me backtrack. Remember to like this video, to comment, to share this video with your friends and your families. Also remember that we are available on all your podcast platform. The links are always below. Go there and listen, right? And happy new year, guys. The next time we meet is gonna be 2022, and by the grace of God, everyone who watched this video will all experience 2022 by God's grace. We'll see it, and we'll see beyond it in Jesus' name. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Until we meet again, we still remain your favorite host, Victoria and
Yemi.
Hey, see you guys. All right, bye.
Bye, guys.